YouTube, what's going on? Man, what in the hell is on my hat? What the fuck is that shit? What the hell is that? All right, YouTube, we are live, and today we are running world news. So, anybody that what the fuck is my chat? Where's my chat, man? Where's my bloody chat box at? There we go. How you doing, Valerie? Glad you could be here with me. Okay. Christy, how are you? Man, I got a really wide field of view here. Not that kind of cat. It's caterpillar. Should make that noted. Not kitty cat meow. I am doing fantastic. Trying to make sure that this is all properly set up. All right. Sarah, glad you could make it. Move this a little bit more. There we go. Geo knows. Take the man's money. All right. Oh, I'm not a big cat. You know what? Yes, Jason, actually on that. I wanted to discuss the bombs. Jamie Kloss. Those are two big ones I wanted to talk about today. And of course, we could, if need be, throw out any questions upon the Delphi murders as well. It's kind of all around because I've been missing for a while. Been busy, man. Actually doing a lot of painting here at the homestead, getting everything ready for winter. So if anybody has any questions on any world news, go right ahead. I do want to bring up the bombs that were sent to key Democrats. And immediately, I thought it was kind of suspicious because, generally speaking, the one thing that Republicans don't do is something like this. However, Democrats do. You know, Democrats don't really care about how they take over. They just want it done so that they can say, there you go, America, and flush us down the tube. So, anyway, I kind of wanted to discuss those. I guess I sit around and I wait for questions and unsure why. Maybe I should just be talking, huh? Yeah. Am I still on? I'm seeing nothing over here on the yeah, if the FBI says that it may be coming from Florida, that's all well, good, and fine. However, it doesn't say who did it. Now, I want whoever had sent them to be caught, arrested. I want to make sure, and this is what's kind of holding me on this, because if they wait until after midterms till they release that, you can be guaranteed it was a Democrat. It's just like the Russia probe that they came back with the results for. They're waiting until after midterms to release that because they know they don't have crap on him. So I think that in the same light, if they go ahead and wait till after midterms to come back and say, you know, okay, this person did it, then it's after the fact. So, you know, Democrats can go in and vote and go, ah, it's those terrorist Republicans, you know, without giving a thought to it. Yes, thank you. You know, Sarah, that was my thought, because you don't really see Republicans doing crap like this. But again, the left side, man, they're fully on that. They don't care in what direction they got to go. They'll start a riot and say, oh, it's just simple protesters, man. They're freedom of speech. But you can't really point at them and say, wow, they're an idiot. What? How dare you? Are you trying to cause a war? That's the way that they think. I mean, I actually lined this up, and if I was editing, I would do this. I would have the IQ back here with 100 being the average, because when you go over under 100, then you start going Democrat, socialist, Marxist, communist. Whereas on the other side, over 100, then you got Republican, then you got libertarian, and then over here you have constitutionalist like myself. Because the only reason that people believe all this crap is because it's on their news. Because they can look at it and they'll believe whatever the newscaster says, because they're over here, they got an IQ less than 100. So of course they're going to fall for that. Over here, then you start getting that, hey, wait a minute. Hold on, man. The left does far worse than this. And anyways. Oh, yes. Well, you know what? The government's always manipulating us, Christy. That's the point I make. That's the point I always made on my other channel. It's all the time a manipulation about our minds. It programs us when we watch TV. That's why I don't watch television. Never do. Not in 12 years. If I sit down in front of my television and watched it, I haven't even owned one in over 12 years. Why would somebody send CNN a bomb with an ISIS flag? CNN is ISIS's best friend. They really are. So does, I mean, my take on Jamie Kloss, I kind of looked that over. I got the Kloss address, man, went to Google Maps and found the house. I don't know if anybody else had did this with Jamie Kloss, but the thing is if they was coming from the town, they was coming from the east going up Highway 8 to the house. Okay. Now, it was 4 minutes between the time that 911 had got the call from that house to the time that the first responder appeared there, and they were already gone. So that means that in order for this to have happened, they would have had to went the opposite direction up Highway 8. Now, if you're looking at that and they went the opposite direction, and then you're looking at where that they may have went, that's all country. Now, again, I go back to what C.C. Moore had said. Usually anytime that you have like a murder or any attack like that, the person responsible basically more or less always lives within a 25-mile radius of that. So if I'm going to the other side of that and I'm looking at that, like in the houses, there's a lot of houses right there. But the thing is that might be some place for them to be looking. I know that they did like property searches that was local to the Klaus household, but yeah. But anyway, I am looking into that, and this has been over a week that she's been missing. I've also thought, was Jamie maybe in part responsible for what had happened? Because I mean, yeah, she's a young girl, but this does happen. And I mean, I'm not blaming her. I'm not saying that at all. But I mean, I have thought about it like, well, could she have set this up? A lot of young girls do this. I mean, remember the girls was that in Minnesota that went out and tried to kill their friend, and stab her to death for what was that? The pleasure of Slender Man or something. There's a lot of messed up people out there. So, I'm not blaming Jamie, but at the same time, we don't really know. But that's really all I have on Jamie Kloss right now. They're still looking for, wait, it's not entirely everything. The FBI's came out and there's $25,000 reward, I think. But when the FBI starts handing out or talking about rewards, watch your clock, because it's not going to get solved. When they have a reward, know this. The FBI loves having that reward money in their hands. They love it. And they go, yes, bro, give us more money. It's what we're about. Yeah, you know what, Christy, my world was different growing up, but I may be a bit older than you. I am 52, will be 53 coming up here in about 30 some days. But when I think back on the 1970s, the 1980s, everything was fine in America. I mean, really, the biggest problem in America at that time was Russia. You know, we had the big Cold War going on, but they wasn't over there starting crap. You never heard about Russia doing anything like that. There wasn't all these mass shootings. We never had a mass shooting. I mean, like there was the McDonald's shooting that was in the 80s. I remember that. I don't remember any big ones in the 70s. I could be overlooking one. In the 60s, you had the tower shooting down in Texas. But that was basically it. Now, once you go past, what was that, 87, when the FDA started approving like fluoxetine medications, doctors started handing Prozac to anybody that came in and said that they was feeling a little down. Here, take Prozac, he'll help you. Boom! Mass shootings went through the fucking roof. And you know what? We can expect one today every single week. You're going to get one because they want your guns. They want your guns, America. You can't fight back without a weapon, you see. That's why they want your guns. Who wants them? The Democrats. The Democrats want your guns, and they want illegals in here like a bastard. Something to think about, isn't it? Something to think about. You got the low IQ people wanting that shit. They think that's going to make them safe, man. We just got to take guns away, man. Get illegal immigrants in here. You know, that single white heterosexual male, he's been controlling us forever. Hey, we want America to be more like Mexico. Can we get that? Can we third world this fucking area, please? It's ignorant. But you know what? I mean, hey, if you look at the voters, man, you will notice that it's almost a 50-50 split. That's because 100 is the average IQ. That means you're going to have 50% over here, 50% over here. Something to think about. You got those low IQ people that never, I mean, you know what? You could explain truth to somebody with an IQ under 100. And you know what? Chances are, man, while they might follow along, they won't get it. It's like explaining higher math to somebody in second grade. They'll listen to you all day. You ask them to explain it at the end of the day. Numbers, right? Is it numbers? Because they don't get it. They don't know. So, anywho, the Burger Chef murder, was that in the 80s? I remember the Burger King shooting. In fact, man, that was one of our... Okay. What can I put on the green screen? Yeah, I don't really have anything to put right there. I'd love to do that live, but in order to do that, I would have to be operating OSB, and for whatever reason, it slows it down. I don't want it sitting there buffering on you. Hey, I love you too, groupie out. Then Valerie, why would you be a Democrat? Why? You see, I'm not a Republican. In fact, I disagree with them about as much as I do the Democrats. I'm a constitutionalist. To a constitutionalist, the Democrats and Republicans are two evils that we fight against. But the thing is I can see people's point on being to the right-hand side. However, on the left side over here, again, man, you have to be ignorant to... Sorry, Valerie, I'm not calling you ignorant. But if you look at what it is they push, holy shit. That's insane. I mean, you would have to be ignorant to be over here. All right, man, I'm having a soda here real quick. Brought to you in large part by Dr. Topper. When you want a nice cold soft drink, reach for a Dr. Topper. It'll soothe your thirst. Soothe your thirst? Soothe your thirst? Tomato. Still tastes good. All right. So, anywho, in 1979, the Burger Chef. Yeah, well, you know what? Then that would be one that was in the 1970s. And I think that if you look at the mass shootings like that, I know we had the one in the 60s in America that was at the Austin Tower at the college. And then you had that one. If that right there was in 79, that would have been a mass shooting. Same with with the McDonald's shooting in the 80s. But then once you get into the 90s, once you get Columbine, the school shooting, boom, boom. It might be a year or so. Boom, here's another one. Here's another one. Here's another one. And then it just starts piling up. When Obama was in office, through those 8 years, we had the most mass shootings in the history of this nation. Why is that? Well, it's because he wanted them. Because he wanted guns taken away. Take those guns away. You know what? These slaves don't need guns. They'll fight back if they have guns. So that's what it amounts to. Now, why would the Food and Drug Administration okay fluoxetine medication? Easy, because they want your guns. It's all one big scheme to take away every right and liberty that you ever had. And you know what? Aside of the first and second, which we just barely hang on to. Yeah, right there. There we go, too. Because the Second Amendment ends in like shall not be infringed upon. Guess what? Throughout my life of 52 years and long before that, it's been infringed upon. Look, I have a right to breathe. If I have a right to keep and own a handgun, why do I need a fucking license to say that I can carry it? Why do I need a license to carry it like all hidden and shit? Here's one for you. If that's your route, fuck you. You're treasonous. You need to take your fucking ass on to another country and rule over there. Because America, our free and common law, sovereign free asses don't need you. But people don't know that shit, man. So don't tell them that they're a Republican or a Democrat and they think everything's being run fine. Don't let them in on it, man. Let them can get surprised. Hey, man, is there like 10,000 patriots here? Could someone get me 10,000 patriots, please? Anybody? I want to go down to Honduras with 10,000 other armed civilians, take them over and declare it under the Constitution, and give America the great big middle finger. Shit sandwich, bitches. We're out here. And guess what? You guys can fight over your next owner. I don't give a fuck. Thank you, groupie. You rock. Dr. Thunder. You know what? Dr. Thunder, Dr. K, Dr. Topper, they all run similar to me. I'm a Pepper fan. Yeah, well-regulated militia. You know what a militia is? That would be me if I was sitting out here with a bunch of people and it's Dr. Topper. I do not drink. 12-year recovering alcoholic. If you want to discuss Delphi, ask away. This isn't really a Q&A exactly, but at the same time, I like it to be a little Q&A. That way I can get some questions incoming. That way I don't just sit and talk all day about shit people don't want to hear, which I tend to do. I really do. Vape. You know what? Today in here, I got Just Cookies by Fat Kid. And you know what? It really does, man. It tastes like a freshly made Toll House cookie dipped into milk and bit into. It tastes delicious. In fact, it tastes so good, I hardly know I'm getting nicotine. Nah, not really. I know I got nicotine. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? This is something that I had brought up in a prior video. Because if you bring up gun control of any kind, people go, crazy people shouldn't have guns. And I disagree. No. You know what? I mean, unless you are so out of it that you cannot talk about things without going into a flippant attack of some kind mentally, you should have a gun. I mean, if you're depressed, hey, what's wrong with you having a gun? You know, what's wrong with that? And I say that for a reason, because when they start saying, well, if you have a mental problem, you can't have a gun. Guess what? Everybody in America's got a mental problem. Everybody. So they want it like that. Well, you're ADHD, you're this, you're that, you're bipolar, you're depressed, you have multiple personality disorder, they will come up with everything, so that you cannot have a gun. This person says that they got their gun rights taken over a bad check. Over a bad check. That's crazy. There is no local news in Delphi. I wish that there was. Well, you know what? Actually, let me take that back. If I can get 10 thumbs up, and there's 20 people here, if I can get 10 thumbs up, I will tell you something that I know concerning Delphi. You know, I could be sober for 20, and if my dad died, I would not drink. I love my dad. But what I'm saying is I know, personally speaking, what happens. If I pick a drink up and I take it, probably would be dead within a month, because I would drink to that extent. I know how I am. My body needs alcohol. And if I put it in, it will immediately go into detox. I cannot sleep, because if I can only pass out, and when I wake up, oh, there it is. Shit. Well, thank you. Thank you all, man. You work magic. Okay. So I really can't drink. I really, really can't. I can't even take a sip of beer. This is the news that I have on Delphi. I wrote Sheriff Lesenby yet again, and I asked him if CC Moore was working on the case. Waited 3 days, no reply. So I wrote him back. Sir, I'd like to know, is CC Moore working on the Delphi case? 3 days later, no reply. So I sent him another message, and I says to him, Sheriff Lesenby, if I don't get a message back within 3 days yet again, I'm going to take it that your official stance on this is no comment. 3 days has went by. So I can officially say that Sheriff Lesenby's thoughts on whether CC Moore is working on that case is no comment. I will go back to what CC Moore had said concerning these cases. She will not talk about any case that she is currently working on. Now, I will direct you to the last thing that came out, and I forget what it was. I think Tony Garner sent it to me, I believe. And it was a very long page talking about CC Moore, all the cases that she had solved, the ones that they would like her to work on. The one thing that was not mentioned in that was Delphi. Now, if we go back to July, it said that investigators were using the same technology that was used in Fort Wayne, and the only way to use that technology is through CC Moore. CC Moore solved the case in Fort Wayne in 2 months' time. 60 days, actually a little under 60 days. Now, if we go back to July, we're way overdue here in Delphi. So what does that say? Does that say that she's not working on it? Or they're just being quiet and they want people to think that she's working on it? I have no idea. All I know is that Bridge Guy should have been arrested like well over a year and a half ago, and he is not. He is not arrested. Oh, I've been mad enough to kill. Man, like you, never did. She's the only one. It's not that she's the only one. She has a team of people with the DNA detectives, and they all work on that. But it's them because they got that in the genealogical DNA from where people had sent their DNA in to have their background tested, genealogy, like Ancestry. So that's why. Other people could do that, but she is the head of that group. Hello, Paisley. So anyway, that is all that I really have on Delphi at this time. Sort of saying for the, God, what was it, be like 250,000th time, they need to get on there and arrest the guy. That's me. I'm sure that they had looked over everything that I had looked over in the past, and I want to throw that out too. Maxwell's house was searched there on Bicycle Road, like day 2, day 3, and that was because somebody had seen that kid walking down the railroad tracks. Now, I had done discuss that my thoughts are that he walked back the trail down the Freedom Bridge, back across that Robinson's Run or whatever that's called, up through that property right there, here at the railroad tracks, and made it back into Delphi. My reason to say that is because nobody would have seen him walking there. He didn't go down the highway, didn't go down the road, didn't go anywhere dressed like that, was not seen by a person or a camera. So that's the only thing that made sense to me. I'm positive that it made the exact same sense to law enforcement, who, when somebody was turned in that, yes, they was walking down those tracks at approximately that time, searched that house. So I do believe that, just like me, they believe as well that that person came from Delphi or headed into the direction of Delphi. I don't want trolls on here making a day of it. You said this, and, you know, fuck you, troll. Fuck you. No, there is no news on the Flora girl. It was suicide. She was bipolar. I think that they got into it. She left. She took that handgun, which also belonged to Mark, and took that with her to do herself in. And it's very sad. Very, very sad, but that is what had happened. No, 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 no. Because if they had dogs and they took them to the Maxwell house, you got to remember that clear on the way east side. Okay, here's Delphi. On the east side over here, across the highway is where the trails are. Now you'd have to go back up, hit the railroad tracks, then take them clear to the west side of Delphi and back out into the country to get to Maxwell's house. Now, if dogs went out there, and this would have been the following day after, a dog would not have led them to a person at that time. It had got cold that night. There was a lot of people that had crossed through there. They wouldn't have found like back like that. It was a tip that somebody had said they was walking on the railroad tracks at that time. What about it, Valerie? Where's Greeno? Greeno is currently missing, but that's because he was supposed to be here Monday morning. Yeah, he was supposed to be here Monday morning. Haven't heard from him since. He said, "Yeah, dude, I'll be over like first thing in the morning." So know that. I said, "All right." Because he was coming back over here. We was going to make a video. Woo, never arrived, never heard from him. Last I knew, he had Wi-Fi and could reach me. So if he's in Florida and he can't make it to the library, there you go. But it's like right up the street in Florida. Okay, Christy Adams is taking off for a minute. No, I have not talked to him, but he has been online a couple different times. He's fine. I mean, there is no need to worry about his safety. He's fine. But he is still missing. He could be out just doing shit for all I know. Okay. So, any other world news that we should talk about? Is there any rant that people want to see me give today? Because, man, you know what? I will rant. I will rant and rant and rant. Hmm. 25 people. 11 likes. And I wish you all could feel my pain. It hurts. It hurts a lot. Leftist rant? You want a leftist rant? You came to the wrong area, Radar. Yeah, I didn't hear that either. Yeah. Right. But look, if you was to follow those tracks, you do realize that they will go everywhere that tracks are in the United States. Okay? They're railroad tracks. You know, you can't follow a railroad track to a nearby town and say they live there. There is no evidence to support that at all. But I do know that the only way out of there without being seen by anyone would be to hit those tracks. Now, that may not be what happened. I mean, like, you know, people say, well, couldn't he have went in the woods? He could have. But if he was living there, he would have been found out rather quick. So you can't really go out like him dressed like that and not get caught. Ah. Okay. Got you. You know what? There is no, I again, I don't think that dogs led him to the Maxwell house. Look, it was over 24 hours after the crime had happened. Now, if I had a coon dog and I was out in the woods, I had coon in it, and let's say that those coon ran that night, the dog will pick that track up and take it to the tree. But in 24 hours, even if you got a bloodhound, they're not going to be able to pick that up, especially with a cold night. It got well under 32 the night before. Now, if there's no wind, that can kind of keep a light track down, but I think that it was far past the time when any dogs would have accurately picked up a track and followed it like that. And that's me. Hmm. You know what? There's probably a lot of Maxwells that live nearby. But, you know, I want to point something out. Crap. Shit. Say you're looking at Google Maps. Right here, the trail comes in, goes down, then it crosses the bridge here. Okay, the railroad bridge going across Deer Creek. Now, right up here, on the other side right there, where you'd be heading over toward Ron Logan's house, that's Mears property. That square right there from the 501 trail back over to the other side of the cemetery. That plot of land right there, it belongs to Mears. Then it goes into Ron Logan's. So I thought they would have also, you know, the suspect would have had to go up Ron Logan's and then cross back across Mears property to hit the 501 trail. Now, if you was to go down the 501 and go into Mears property to walk over to Ron Logan's, you will notice that there are trail cams there, the same as what's on Ron Logan's. But it made me wonder, was it someone who knew the Mears or Ronald that had asked them about being on the property at some time, possibly hunting? Because this is an outdoors person. This is a guy that goes outdoors. You would think that he'd be plenty fluent in hunting, outdoors, this kind of thing. So it does make me wonder if that was the case or not. Also, you know what somebody had said earlier about stuff being in his coat being marijuana? How would you know that? You know, look, I'll put it to you like this. In February, you're not going to go out digging weed. That's something that's a actually late summer, very, 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 very early fall kind of thing to do. You don't go out there doing that. And I only know that because I've heard it. I've heard people say it. It's like I look into shit. That's how I know. Okay. Are you thinking that possibly the Avon guy is possibly the Delphi guy? Yay? Nay? Anybody? Okay. You know what? I will look into him and see what I can find. But honestly, I don't really look into anything on the Delphi case. And I do that because if was any news that came out on the Delphi case, it would be on my desktop when I woke up. I mean, it would be right there. So I don't really go look for it. Yeah, you know, Harvey, it's possible. It's possible that he could have been in the deer stand. However, it might be a little unlikely at the same time. And I say that because it was February. There were no leaves on the trees. Okay. There was none. In fact, from the 501, if you was to look out to your left and somebody was setting up in that deer stand, you would see them. Now, that's neither here nor there, but the thing is in February, they wouldn't be up there really hunting. Okay, so if a person seen that, they'd be, hey, why is somebody sitting in a deer stand back over there? I mean, imagine, if you will, an older couple's walking down to the bridge that day and they see somebody sitting in a deer stand. Hey, why's the guy sitting in a deer stand in the middle of the woods? You know? But again, that's me. I don't know that. But at the same time, if somebody was there to purposely look for someone that fit their mental description of the victim that they wanted, they would probably be on the 505 trail, because the 505 is less used than the 501, because the 501 is used to get down to the railroad bridge. So if anybody came in and you're looking at them to see if they fit what you want as a victim, then you can see them. You can walk back out after they pass by, see if there's any hikers, if they're unaccompanied, you know, if this is your shot to go down and get them at the railroad bridge. And I think that that's more likely as to what happened, because he was on that trail earlier, because the first eyewitness, the lady, seen him there and talked to him for a brief bit. I think that she happened up on him because she was walking her dogs. When he seen her, he thought, okay, I can't run. She's walking her dogs. I don't want to look suspicious. No crime's been committed. She walked up, talked to him for a couple minutes, and went about her way. So there's a lot of theories, but keep in mind that theories, just like mine, only hold as much water as evidence gives them. You know, it's like the deer stand theory. Fine, deer stand was there. Does that mean he was there? No. Is the plausible theory? Sure it is. But, you know, we shouldn't necessarily assume that he was there just because there was a deer stand there. That deer stand is not right beside the trail. And in fact, if he was up in that deer stand looking at the trail, he's looking at a very long distance to that trail. You know, you would want to be in an area where you could see that person. Is this that person? You know? Thank you, Harvey. Wow. Yeah, well, you see, Harv, to me, I think that this crime was thought about, rendered up in his head over a very long time, a very, very long time. Because I think that, I mean, he had already committed this crime in his head a lot of times. He knew where he was going to be. he knew that he could see that person walking by. And I think that that was a reason for that specific date. That's one reason, is because he knew that somebody could be out there hiking that day. But it was February. It was a nice day in February, but he wouldn't have to so much worry about a lot of hikers. So if a person headed down that way that he thought, you know, fit his mental image, there probably wouldn't be people back behind him. Woof, hey, hey, woof, woof. Pardon for a moment. Dude, I'm trying to make a video. Please stop doing that. Thank you. God, puppy. God, man. So anyway, where was I at? I'm sorry. Woof. Interrupted. My bad. If somebody would like to enlighten me to where I was. Y-A and L? Oh. You know what? That very true. But here's the thing. There was a woman that had talked to him. And I don't think that that guy was out there for any person in particular. Any. I think that he wanted someone who fit what he wanted in a victim. Be it young, be it a certain look, just like Ted Bundy. Exactly. You know, he went after women with a certain color hair is what he preferred. You know, and there's that mental image that a person has. I mean, hey, if I was just going to go rape and kill somebody or however I was going to go do, well, I wouldn't just set off to go do it to any woman, any at all. You know, you have a preset of what it is that you want in a victim. Man, I don't want to sit here and talk like I'm a serial killer, but that is what it is. If you watch like serial killers, any of them, they usually have a predominance of what it is that they want in a victim. So Cheyenne was there after. Remember that. Now, there may have been girls that was there before. Maybe that wasn't exactly the one he wanted. Maybe that there was hikers there because we don't know the reasons why. You know, the thing is people walk down there and he says like, oh, hey, a person, a woman, a girl, I'm just going to go kill him. But I don't think that that's where his mind was. He wanted somebody that fit his mental image. Miss Angel, I'm sorry. But you know what? If you don't mind missing a little live, you can go back to the beginning and then rerun it. You can kind of catch up that quick. But you're still going to be behind it, and I'll be gone before you get here. However, if you do have any questions, drop them. If I've already covered it, I will mention as such. You know what? I hope to be. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, and again, that's the hole on that. Yes, the deer stand theory would, Harvey. However, sitting at home doing it, walking the trails doing it, it's not like he had to sit in a deer stand to actually think about what he was going to do. He knew where he was taking him. And the deer stand is off that property. It's on Mears property. I want you to know that. It's not on Ron Logan's. That's on Mears. They're on the west side from where the cemetery is. But he didn't have to set up in a deer stand to contemplate that, you know. But I'm positive that he did. You know, he already had the crime hooked up exactly what he was going to do, where he was going to go, where he was going to take him, and how he was going to leave. It was all hooked up. I think that the one thing that he did not count on was flannel shirt guy coming in while he was leaving. He probably wanted to get out of there without being seen leaving, but it did not happen. Maybe, perhaps, but again, this was the thing. I think that he went down there, he stalked the area. And I think that, again, because it was a nice day in February, he knew that people could show up. It could have been a good opportunity for him to be there. The person showed up that fit what he wanted. There wouldn't be other people. Bam. Easy to go down, abduct, take him over there, commit the crime, and leave. Harvey, have you been in that deer stand? Have you went there and actually sat in that deer stand? Yeah. Yeah. You know what? If I knew who had committed those crimes, I would. I mean, while they would get to the police, they wouldn't be in good shape when they did, because that sorry bastard, as he would have some hell to pay. Absolutely. I would not be cool with him, and he nor would he expect it. So, is that about everything on and it does, Harvey. But the thing is you're looking at it from the deer stand. But if you're up in that deer stand, you are probably, man, over 200 yards from the trail, looking through trees. So why would a person sit up there and wait? You can't get a good look at who's walking down that trail from there. But if you're on the 505 where somebody's walking, you can kind of like get a glimpse of them from the front, from the back, walk up there. Because if you're in that deer stand, remember this. If you're in the deer stand looking west at that trail and somebody walks by, you still got to walk up there and walk back down the trail to make sure that no hikers are coming this way. Because once you round that bend, you can't see past that bend. You can't. So again, while I'm not 100% saying that the deer stand theory is like out of the question, to me it kind of does. Because if I was waiting for somebody to come down that trail, I would not be up in that bloody deer stand looking at a very long distance at them. I would be there where I could see them, maybe interact with them, see them, see the back behind them, and then follow them, which I believe was the case. Because look, if you look at the picture of Abby, there it is. Bam, taking it, was that 217, 207, whichever. And you look back, yeah, with binoculars. And then you look back behind there, you can see from back where the deer stand is all the way up to that trail in this way. Not there. And again, it makes me hold the theory of the deer stand to be something like it's a great theory. It just goes nowhere. Yeah. And he was probably a computer hacker, and he'd pinpointed the exact time that they would be there. I don't believe it. I really don't. And if it ever comes out that he was sitting in that deer stand, he was waiting for someone to show up, I'll come on here and I'll go, wow, that's pretty bizarre. I was wrong. But that's as far as I can take that. This is not a smart guy. I want people to know that. People act like, man, he's very cunning and elusive, and he's got like this computer stuff going on. And hell no, man, this guy is a mentally handicapped individual. When it comes out as to who this guy is one day, those around him will be like, yeah, we didn't know it was him. Man, the picture didn't look like him, and that sketch didn't lend any credence to what he looks like at all. We always knew he was a little weird, but that's how it will go. Because these people, look at John D. Miller up there in Fort Wayne. Not right. He isn't right. People that commit a crime like this are not highly intelligent people. It's very rare if you ever come across one that is intelligent, that will actually like computer and all this shit to get that person. These are criminal monster people. They don't need to be in this world. They don't need to be in my world. That's why I feel about it, man. So somebody took the deer stand down, then put it back up. That would have had to been mirrors. Say that once more, what you just said about why not a viable theory. Okay, J&J. Here it is, the deer stand. You're about like 200 and some yards from the trail. Man, you know, I have backup on this. I do. If you're looking at 200 and some yards through trees at somebody, you cannot get a good definition of exactly what their face looks like. You can't. Now, somebody was sitting up there, and again, my theory is that he was down on the 505 trail waiting for someone to enter. Because there he could sit down on a bench. He's facing the other way. Nobody could get a direct look at his face. Then when they come in, you can see them kind of up close. You can get a glimpse of them. Then you can walk right out and check to see if anybody's coming. You can maintain, let them walk up toward the railroad bridge while not getting up behind them and letting them know that you're following because you don't want to scare them. You see? Then you can keep a look to see if anybody's coming and then walk down there. Keep a look back behind you, see if any hikers are coming, look over across to where they are. They head to the south side, you go across. Now, if you're up in that deer stand, you can't see down the trail. You can't see down the 501 to see if anybody's coming. You're looking at them from a long distance away. Why would he want that? He wouldn't. Not to me. No, if he's there to do something to an individual, he wants to see that individual. He wants to see if anybody's coming back behind them because he's got to act in very quick. And again, with the picture taken of Abby by Libby, you can look back behind her, right up there to the right and back up at the top of that hill. That's going back over to that deer stand. Okay? Nobody was there. Nobody was in those woods nor coming up that trail right there. Well, that says to me right there, he was likely not there. Great theory. Goes nowhere. Goes nowhere. Yeah, someone does know who it is. In fact, there's a lot of people who know the person, but, you know, the pixelated image and the sketch, yeah, man, we didn't know. We had no clue. That's what they'll say. No problem, J&J. And sorry if I act a little bitter. I get that away. And it isn't at you. It isn't at anyone. Okay, Harvey's dead set on the deer stand. That's cool, Harv. That's cool. You know what? Giving this a lot of thought, not changing my mind any. I am not cool with the deer stand theory at all. At all. I'm not going to do a video and zoom from there. I got better things to do with my time. I'll tell you what I will do. I will make a video and I will draw out exactly how I think he left. How I feel. This is personal right here. This is my theory on it. And I call it a theory because it is a way that he could leave, not be visually seen nor by camera. And that is how he got out of there. If you don't believe me, call police. How did he get out of there? We don't know. We don't know how he could have did that. Well, that is the only theory, and I'm positive that law enforcement was on that on day 2. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Angel. Yeah, I agree. If he's sitting up there, because really from the road, you can see that deer stand. You can. You know, from County Road 300, you can see that deer stand rather easily because there ain't much woods that separates it. But from the deer stand up to the trail where you would be looking, then there's quite a bit of woods that you'd have to look through. Yeah, you know what? Right. But I've covered that relentlessly too. Not more than one person. Not. For reasons already have mentioned. You have CSI that was there. They would have known after a couple days. They would have said, no, it's a one-person operation. There it is. They have foot traffic. They would know. Was there 2 people walking? Was there 1? The eyewitnesses seen 1 guy. One, both the same guy. So I'm not on like multiple people. When the cops came out and said, we don't know that this is the same guy in the photo, they're not saying that there was 18 people under that bridge. It didn't happen. People online will use, oh yeah, man, oh yeah, look at all these people. Holy shit, it's a gang. You're probably a Democrat. Because anybody that's going to believe that shit is out of their effing mind. Period. You're welcome, MP. I used to be an MP. No, he didn't walk that trail home. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that somebody had seen him walking on the railroad tracks up toward his house at around that time after the crime had been committed. So they went and checked to see if he had been involved in the crime. He wasn't. He was just on the tracks. But it tells me that law enforcement is looking at identical to what I pointed out to you. He walked up Freedom Bridge, over to the railroad tracks, followed it back into Delphi. That's it. And I don't mind keeping this in the public eye, but I wish I had more information. Everything that I'm saying now, I've kind of repeated over multiple videos, multiple videos. In fact, you could go back and watch any live video, and it's going to be pretty much a repeat performance of this one. If this isn't repeated that, but you know, because you know, I always ask the same things. I always get the same comments. I always get the same questions. You know, we was asked, well, why don't you guys cover other crimes? Because people will thumbs it down and want no part of it because we're not answering the same questions that we have for a year and a half. That's why people want to hear the same questions answered repeatedly. They never go back to look for it. They just keep asking again. Like it's going to change magically. No, I really don't. And you know what? I think that probably any evidence that was taken from that house would have probably related to the evidence that they found at the crime scene so that they could check like boots, the tracks, stuff of that nature, see if, you know, but that would be all that I could imagine it would be. Because at that time, all they had was the general evidence that they had so that they could compare what he had to what was there. That way they could say, yay, maybe, you know, we don't know. Yeah, he probably did like that. Yeah, you know what? I wanted to talk a little bit about Jamie Kloss. I did earlier, but that's another case that kind of stands out. That's up there. And was that Minnesota? Isn't it Minnesota? Maybe it's Wisconsin. Shit, man. Somebody needs to fill me in here real quick. But I looked over the evidence there as to what it was they was looking at. I know it took 4 minutes from the time of that call to when the first responder got there, and they were already gone. They came in from the east. They had to head up Highway 8 to the west. Thank you. Thanks, both of you. Wisconsin. So I know that they had to have head west because if they had went back east, the law enforcement car would have seen them coming that way and had a good idea as to like the type of vehicle. But then heading back the opposite direction, that's the direction that they would have had to went. So we know that whoever came, they came up Highway 8 from the west and left in the same direction, heading back out. You know what, Harv? He was probably in the deer stand. There you go. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. He really wants to stand on that until I say something other than. But anyway, in the Kloss case, we know that probably that he abducted her. Although that doesn't exactly say to me at this time from what I've seen that she may not have had a hand in it. There are others. I forget what her name was. She'd killed her mother to be with this boy. And then the boy got strung up on it and pled guilty to it, when she had actually did it. And, that is what it is. And it's not that this could be out of the same. But what they're saying is that she was abducted and could be in danger. So let's find out and see where this goes, because I'm not fully on that side because I don't know. I don't know her. She could be a very evil little girl. I don't know that. In fact, she could be 100% innocent and be in big danger or be dead already. I don't know. But the thing is like, I can't really say one way to another because I'm not looking at all the evidence. Just like in Delphi, I'm not looking at all the evidence. If I had all the evidence they had, maybe my theory might change, but I'm pretty sure that my theory holds great water with the evidence that we have. Well, it may or may not be in Jamie's case. They said that the door had appeared to be kicked in, that they went in, shot the two parents dead, and took her. Well, that don't say multiple people. I mean, generally speaking, like a crime like this isn't normally done by multiple people unless they're looking for a ransom. But that's normally where that would lie. Just like in Delphi. Well, we don't know that there wasn't more people. It could have been brothers. It could have been. Well, you know what? Again, Grace Down in theory. Never heard that from law enforcement. Wait, what? I'm sorry, YouTube. You really got to speak up, huh? Oh, yeah, that's right. Law enforcement did say we don't know at this time if this voice is the same guy pictured. Did they ever say anything further on that? Did they come out and say there's two people? They didn't? Yeah, let it go. Because there wasn't. There was one person. Crime of opportunity. Yes, Harvey. The deer stand makes total sense. Total sense. However, if I was watching Ronald Logan's house, I don't think I'd be in a fucking deer stand where everybody could see me. That's me. I'm a little bit more surreptitious when I go commit a crime. I don't want people to know. So, as far as I go, this is just me, personal, totally me. I rule the fucking deer stand theory the fuck off. Well, Warren, if I was going to abduct somebody, me, one person, me, well, if I wanted them bad enough that I was going to drive to their house, kick that door open, and kill the two people and then abduct them with a handgun, I don't need anybody else to do that with me. I kick that door open, bang, bang. Come with me. It don't take two people. Now, is that saying that it wasn't two people? No, but I don't know why anybody would state that it might be. There was nothing that tied two people. There's nobody that said there was two people that did it. And if I pull up at a house and I walk up to the door and I leave, you can tell if it was one person who had walked or two. Easy peasy. But I don't think that it would be two people. If it was, okay, two people. But at the same time, there's nothing ever said about that. So I'm not one to hop on a theory. I don't like just coming up with a theory that sounds good just to have a theory that sounds good. If it don't fit the evidence, it's just a theory that sounds good. And you know what theories that sound good are? Crap. They're absolute crap because all they are is a theory that sounds good. And that's it. And everybody, now, you know what? If you go take a theory that sounds good, say as an example, the tree stand theory, and you go throw that all over Facebook, everybody with an IQ less than 100 will fall all over it and go, oh, he was at the fucking tree stand. I heard people talking about it. Made perfect sense. Unless you're looking at the evidence. Unless you had personally been there. If you go there, and you go to that tree stand and you climb up in it, you're going to go, yeah, I'm a long fucking way from there. Yeah, I'm looking through trees. Yeah, people can see me from County Road 300 sitting right here in this fucking deer stand. It don't make any sense. Now, if I was going to go break into Ron Logan's when he left, when he was gone, there's a lot of ways I can do that. I don't have to set up in a deer stand where everybody can see me waiting for his fucking car to leave. That's fact. I can just walk right back over there, up that thing, because there's that big canal. If somebody had been there to the crime scene, they would know that. There's that big fucking ravine that goes right down into Deer Creek. You can sit right down in that ravine and just peek up, wait for the cars to leave, because you're surreptitiously hidden from people's viewpoint. Isn't nobody going to walk up on you like that? Isn't nobody just going to see you sitting there in the deer stand? Now, okay. Now, you know what? Maybe. But here's the thing. I'm writing it off. Actually, I did like 5 minutes ago. I did write that off. Will anybody like witness to the fact that I wrote that the fuck off like 5 minutes ago? Is Mike 2 cars of interest need 2 drivers? Right. Yes, I do. Hey, does anybody know about that? Does anybody know about my theft charges? I'd like to go over that, if you all don't mind. Please allow me a moment. Okay. The year was 2017. It was June the 15th. I was sent 2 tickets from Hollywood because they wanted me to be on the show, Conspiracy Nation. I said, all right, I'll do it. They sent the tickets down to Indianapolis Airport. So I arrived. I actually hadn't been in an airport, man, to travel in, man, probably over 20 years. No, actually, that was in 18 years because I had to go out to Oklahoma in 2000. So I'm at the airport and I'm going through. My friends have left and everything. They dropped me off and I'm going through. I make it through TSA. First time ever through TSA. Now, when I get down there, when I get to the far side, because I didn't know how much further I had to go through TSA, I look down in the stuff that you got to put your clothes and all that in before you go in, and then they radiate your ass so that they can tell what you got up your backside. I get out. I'm putting my shoes on and everything, and I get all my stuff on, and I look, and because these boxes were silver, it looked like a little Apple logo down the bottom, and I thought, man, what the hell? So I reached down in there, and I'm like, looked like a tablet, little small computer. So I'm looking around because it was the one in front of me, and there was a lady in front of me, and I thought, well, it belongs to her. It was the one right in front of mine. So I'm looking around. I yelled to a TSA lady, hey, is this the last TSA? She said, yeah, you can go to your flight from here. I'm like, shit, because I was already late for my flight. I want that to be known right now. So I headed up that way expecting that she was coming right back to get it because it's carry on. Guess what? Was arrested for theft. Never even left the place with it. Told the law enforcement officer I was not stealing it. I was taking it to the lady that was in front of me at TSA. Sorry, sir. That's theft. So I went in. And thanks, Harv. Thanks for bringing that up because it does give me a good reason to discuss this. I went in because I was livid as fuck. Let me tell you something, man. One thing that my ass is not going to do is steal somebody's fucking carry-on and hop on a plane and try to get to fucking LA where I would be arrested getting off the fucking plane in LA for theft. No. Nope, not at all. In fact, when I told him that and was arrested for theft, I went in down there because they released me. I threw a fit about that. I went in with motions and I told them, I said, under common law, I never would have been arrested for this, ever, because I did not walk off the premises with that. I had no intention of stealing it. And under common law, no, there was no injured person. None. Zero. Under common law, this would be bullshit, and that is exactly where I stand. Completely. Now y'all know I'm a thief. I'm a big thief. I tried to steal somebody's little tablet right away from them. Know that. If you ever come to my house, keep an eye on your shit. Thanks, Harv. Yeah, no, it was. And you know what? I I did get sentenced on that, and I'll tell you what happened. I went in with multiple motions and telling them, I said, this is just another way to pull revenue out of the people. I went in with that, and I said, what jurisdiction is this, Your Honor? I told you it's statutory jurisdiction. I said, exactly, because they'll call it anything except for Admiralty Maritime Jurisdiction, because it's all crap. Now, if we were still under common law, you know, where we was under common law sovereignty, you know, we're like the only crime that we could commit is if we went and hurt someone or their property. That's called being free. I don't know how many Americans know that. People in America today think like, oh, we're free though. No, we have more laws than any country on earth. That does not spell freedom to me. We are also the highest taxed, not free. We have the most prisoners of any nation on earth. Not free, because taxpayers still got to pay for that. It's all shit. And that's what it amounts to. You're welcome, Harv. Yeah, and it really did. It really did happen like that. And you know what? Sadly, for me, just me though on this, I never did get to make it to Hollywood. Although Hollywood was looking for me, man. Hollywood was looking for me like a son of a bitch, because I had called him after missing that flight, because I made it to my gate, which I think was gate 18. And they said, your flight is gone, but we can put you on a flight to Phoenix that reroutes back out to LA at 9 o'clock. It will arrive. Well, I was supposed to be there, no, at 9:30 their time. I was supposed to be there at 6:30. I got a hold of the producer, said I missed that flight. Bam, arrested. That fast. And I told the lady, I said, it was the lady that was in front of me at TSA. Would you turn around, please? I said, for what? Am I being arrested? Yes. For what? Theft. Blew up. Blew up. No, I'm not booting Harv. But anyway, that is my theft. I also have PIs, if anybody wants me to talk about them. That list goes on for a long time. A very long time. Yeah, you know what? I probably could, but well, and here's what happened. After I had went through all the rigmarole, my public defender comes up and he says to me, well, they do have a plea bargain. Listen, for what? Well, what they want to do is lower it to a misdemeanor and basically nothing. They just lower it to a misdemeanor and you go home. Oh, screw that. No, we ain't doing that. I said, look, they got 1 week to get that guy here, and we will take this to a jury trial. Well, no, yeah. Well, you know, here's the thing, man. I've had a lot of cases that looked really good, right? And then they'll find them guilty. And if they find you guilty, man, they're going to hit you with this, and that. Yeah, I understand. Look, this is pretty easy here, sir. Okay? There wasn't. And I think that the lady will definitely side with me that I wasn't trying to steal her crap. I think that we should go that route. Well, no, because actually, if we now ask for a jury trial, which was supposed to have been in 7 days after the time that I showed up at that time, before I had to go in and talk to them. 7 days later was supposed to be the jury trial. He said, well, now, if you go for a jury trial, they're going to set that up 3 or 4 months later. Like, you're kidding me. Why? We just did this. The jury trial's next week. Well, that's how they would do it, because they still got to get a hold of him. They have it. It actually was a him. It wasn't the lady. What was his name? I knew his last name was Goldman. Lived in Georgia. But it wasn't the lady that was in front of me, oddly enough. But that explains why I didn't see her coming back. That's for sure. Yeah, exactly. You know what? We should have that one law, same as we did when we was founded. And it goes like this. If you don't hurt a person or their property, you have committed no crime. Have a nice day, free person. Thank you for being an American. No, you're welcome. Protect and serve, too. We pay you for that, you know. Don't be a bitch. Protect and serve. All right. Well, we are now after 4. Does anybody have further questions? I'd love to hear them. I would love to see a question or two. I'm going to vape for a moment. Yeah, with this right here, like I said, man, it's just cookies. If you like cookies and you'd like to vape, or maybe you smoke and you'd like to stop, get you the Smock Alien. Look, man, this vape is a beaut, man. This is the Baby Beast tank, man. Love this shit. You know what? I just got tired of how cigarettes tasted, and plus the tar, and I was like, if I had a vape, man, where I could get a good hit off of it, I'd probably do that. I got this, bam, cigarettes were over immediately. Don't even miss them. Never looked back. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this live, I do believe. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I really do. I got up and I waited and I waited and I waited and I thought, yeah, you know what, screw it, I'll do a live. So there it is. Did live. But okay, I am going to make a video coming up probably by tomorrow, because I want to make one where I talk exactly about how I feel that he left. Now, I don't know to where exactly the bridge guy had took off to, but that is my theory, and I think that that is exactly what law enforcement is working on in the same way. So I will catch you then. Thanks for reviewing. Peace, y'all.